Welcome to Awakening Streams, the podcast of One River Zen Meditation Center in Ottawa, Illinois. Hosted by Sensei Michael Brunner. Learn more, donate, and practice with us at oneriverzen.org.
I'm going to talk today about a case in the Hekiganroku. It's the 57th case. It's called Nondiscrimination. And in it we have another showing from Joshu, the progenitor of Lipsentang Zen. And the case goes like this. A monk asked Joshu, if the Supreme Way has no difficulty, it just rejects discrimination, then what is non-discrimination? And Joshu replied, in the heavens and on earth, only I alone am noble. The monk then said, this is still discrimination. Joshu said, Oaf, where is the discrimination? The monk said nothing. So a monk asked Joshu, if the Supreme Way has no difficulty, it just rejects discrimination, then what is non-discrimination? Boy, what a mondo, right? I think the monk thinks that he set a trap for sure. What can Joshu possibly say to get beyond this discrimination? This is the opening line of the Shinjinmei, or the Mind of Absolute Trust. It's a text written by the third ancestor, Kanshi Sōen. And Sōen was a student of Huike, who received transmission from Bodhidharma. So we're really at the nexus of Zen here, right? There's a copy of Shinjinmei on our website at oneriverzen.org, as well as a commentary. I recommend the read. But I always laugh when I hear this line. The Supreme Way is without difficulty. Just avoid picking and choosing. Yeah? What a small feat. Being that this is the only action of mind, the only action of the small mind, is to pick and to choose. It operates completely on this dialectic. We don't have judgments about some things. When we actually reflect on the voice of our small discursive mind, we recognize we have judgments about everything. All of the elements of perception are neatly labeled and categorized and stowed away. Each thing is presented as discrete and separate from everything else, and referentially and individually substantial. But is that so? Is it really so? We create this myth of separateness with our labeling and our judging, but all of this is extra. It's not present until we add it. And it becomes like an intoxicant, this idea of knowing, of apprehending through intellect. And so the monk is just operating in this place, right? He wants to know what non-discrimination is. Another new label, right? In a way, we're just trying to apprehend everything so we can categorize the last missing piece. So Joshu really has to find a way, using words and concepts, to point far beyond even this notion or idea. And not to be at a loss for words, Joshu immediately replies, in the heavens and on earth, only I alone am noble. Now, any monk worth his salt would recognize this as a saying that was ascribed to the Buddha himself. At his birth, as a matter of fact, right after his birth, the Buddha is said to have uttered this very phrase, in the heavens and on earth, only I alone am noble. But although the monk recognizes it, he's never realized it. Right? The introduction of this case in Hekiganroku tries to point the way home. Before you've penetrated, it seems like a silver mountain, an iron wall. Once you have penetrated, it turns out your own self is the iron wall, the silver mountain. Zen Master Hakun said, "A single word or half a phrase uttered by the ancients before you have managed to penetrate is like bumping into an iron wall. Yeah. Then once you've seen through, you see your own self as that iron wall." And he goes on to ask, right now, how do you penetrate? Well, how do you penetrate? How do you show up right now with what's at hand? What is it right now for you? Buddhas and Zen masters have never been involved. Nothing other has been involved. It's only you involved. You have to see this for yourself. Then you'll know yourself. You'll know your own true nature. You'll see that nothing is separate. Nothing at all is separate. The introduction goes on to say, if there are people who ask, so what? I would just say to them, if you can manifest a potential here and perceive a state, then occupying the essential bridge and not letting ordinary or holy pass would not be beyond you. And with this, suddenly your life bursts forth, right? And you begin to know who the master is. There's nowhere else to look, because there's no one else to find. You're the hero of this life. Right where you stand, you decide. Far beyond picking and choosing, you realize your own face in the cool breeze and in the warm sun. You're always right at home. There's no one else to cross the bridge. No need for ordinary or holy. You're the master here. But the monk doesn't see it. He only sees its reflection in his discursive mind. And he reports, this is still discrimination. To which Joshu pretty unceremoniously replies, Oaf, where is the discrimination? Where is it indeed? We place so much stock in our ideas, in our opinions, in our labels, in our judgments. But these are all false prophets. When you truly meet the one who is master, then you know only one can be in charge, because there is no other. At this, the monk says nothing. And perhaps this is the best thing that he has said throughout the case. Just quiet your thoughts, let go, and listen. Hear. Really hear. The sound of one hand clapping is present when you move beyond what you think you should hear and when you stop choosing where to listen. Then you recognize clearly. Just put it down. Just put it down right now and experience directly. Just this. The capping verse to this case is very powerful. It's deep as an ocean, steady as a mountain. A mosquito sports in a gale. An ant tries to shake an iron pillar. Discrimination. Discrimination. A cloth drum under the eaves. When you arrive at this place of things as they are, you see it extends boundlessly, and it's unmovable. Any attempt at fathoming it through intellect, which normally seems to be strong, to be the only way we dissect our lived experience, would pale. It would be like a mosquito trying to find its mark in a tornado. Yeah? Or an ant trying to move an iron pillar. When you let go of the intellect, when you see it drop away, and with it, you can see that you lose the vestiges of small self. And there are two discriminations here exposed. One, the monk's childlike word games that try to capture the essence of the ocean by bottling it. try to apprehend it through intellect, or the very eyes of Joshu, in this case the eyes of the universe, that see straight through and recognize themselves everywhere they gaze. These are your true eyes. When you see this, your own boundless freedom, it can manifest as boundless compassion. And here there's no more need for why. You recognize very clearly that this is it. And you're the one. And you're free to make it happen, to give life or to kill.
Thank you for joining us. If this podcast was meaningful to you and supported your practice, please give us a hand by joining us at oneriverzen.org.